Morning, everybody. Morning. Yamaris, we're ready. That's all. That's all the people in the wait room.
Yes, everybody else in the waiting room is now in.
Okay. All right then. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Fair Housing Commission. This is the hearing of Harper versus Razi Dosi Properties LLC et al. My name is Rosemary Brannigan. I'm the supervisor for the Fair Housing Commission. Along with myself, we also have Alexis Enlow and Yamaris Castro Almeida, also our Fair Housing staff, as well as Commissioner Brunson. Before we start the hearing, I'm required to go over a few things with you. And that's what I'm going to do right now. After I go over a few things with you, then we'll swear you in, and then we'll get the hearing started. So, the hearing today is going to be recorded. The hearing, although it is recorded, has the same force and effect as if we had a court reporter here. Everything you say or everything that you do will remain part of the record. Please be careful of what you say and what you do on the record. Okay. If you decide that you want to appeal a final order, you will need a copy of this video. And if that's the case, please let us know and we can send you a copy of this audio video, which you would then need to transcribe. The second thing is that this morning, prior to this hearing, the commissioners did meet just to go over the documents that you submitted. They did review everything that you have submitted. During this hearing, if you have other documents that you want to present or a specific document, just please let us know what that document is and we will pull it up on the screen so that everyone can review. Also, please keep in mind that when you do ask for a specific document, just tell us the specific doc that you're looking for, a license or the date of the doc. Also, during this hearing, at some point, the commissioners may ask you to go back into the wait room. That does not mean we're ending the hearing. It just means the commissioners just need to review what was presented to them. So when you are in a wait room, please do not leave the hearing. Okay. If you have any other questions, please let us know. But right now, I'm going to move this over to Alexis Enlow, who is now going to swear you in. Thank you.
Matter. The docket number is 2024-11-14-19165. At this time, beginning with the tenant, can you please state and then spell your first and last name for the record? Tenant, you're on mute.
Ms. Harper, are you there?
Hi, tenant. Hi. Good morning. Would you? Yeah, you just have to unmute yourself, please.
Okay,
Perfect.
there we are. I'm sorry.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you,
I'm sorry.
tenant.
Sorry.
Thank
Okay.
you. Can you please state and spell your first and last name for the record, please?
Yes, Arlene, Arlene, Harper, Harper.
Thank you. And do you have anyone who will be testifying with you today?
No, I don't.
Okay. Landlord, can you please state and spell your first and last name slowly and clearly for the record? You're on mute.
Sure. Rahil Raza, Rahil, last name's Raza.
Okay, thank you. And is someone else going to be testifying today? I see Corinne Raza is also present.
Yeah, Corinne will be. Corinne, can you hit mute and state your name?
You're on mute.
Hello?
Hi.
Yes. Can you
Hi, I'm
state
sorry,
and spell-
Are you asking?
We're,
Yes, if you're going to be testifying today, you have to state and spell your name for the record. Can you hear us? Corinne, can you hear us?
Hello?
hi.
Hi, I'm sorry. My phone connected to my car. I couldn't hear anything. My name's Corinne Raza, Corrineraza.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to swear the parties in. Can you please all raise your right hands? Do you swear or affirm to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Yes.
Thank you. And counsel, can you please put your name on the record and state who you're representing?
Yes, good morning. Adam Weintraub Barth from Senior Law Center, representing the tenant Arlene Harper.
Thank you very much. The commission has 3 rules for today's hearing. First, do not speak over or interrupt each other, and do not speak over or interrupt the commissioners. Each party will have an opportunity to give testimony and present evidence. Second, please do not use generic phrases such as he or she. When you refer to an individual, please use the tenant, the landlord, or their name to keep the record clear. And third, when giving a date, please give a complete date that includes the year each time. The commissioner present today is Commissioner Brunson. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Alexis. Good morning and welcome to the Fair Housing Commission. I'm Commissioner Brunson. Before we get started, I have to let you know that because we do not have a quorum today, you won't get your final order. We have to have 2 other commissioners review this recording before we can make a final decision. So I will just be gathering evidence and facts from you all today. And we'll be holding this under advisement. Because the tenant is the person who filed this complaint, we'll start with the tenant. And I see that you have an attorney, Ms. Harper, but I want to ask you a few preliminary questions and then I'll hand it over to your attorney, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so the first thing I want to do is confirm the address that we're here for.
1325 North 18th Street, Apartment B, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 19121.
Okay, and when did you file this complaint?
I think it was the 7th of November.
And when did you move into the property?
2023 of March.
March 2023. Okay. And you said you filed November the 7th, was that of 2024?
24, excuse me, yes, 24.
Okay. And at any time since either when you moved in or since you've moved in, did you receive a document entitled Certificate for Rental Suitability?
No, ma'am.
Okay. At any time, have you received a lead-free or lead-safe certificate?
No, ma'am.
What is your current rent?
119. I mean, 1,000, I'm sorry, 1,900.
Okay, and has it always been that amount?
No, it started off at 1850.
Okay. And when you moved in, did you pay a security deposit?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you recall the amount that you paid in security?
I think it was, I'm not sure. I think it was 2 months rent, 2 months security, 1 month's rent.
2 months. Okay, so we have 2 different amounts. We have one that says 5,550, and then we have another one that says 5,800. And I'm guessing that includes also your first month's rent. So
Yes.
do either of those ring a bell to you?
I believe so, yes.
So which one? Was it the 5,550 or the 5,800?
It might be the 5,800.
Okay.
It's 23, so I don't have it in front of me.
Okay, that's fine. And your original lease, can you confirm what that time period was?
The original should have been from March the 1st of 2023 to February 2024
Okay, and your current lease?
as 2024 until March the 1st of 2025. Yeah. Or March the 1st, 2025.
Is it
It went
is it
from year to year.
2025 or 2026?
No, 25.
Yes, 2025, okay. When is the last time you paid rent?
August of
August
2024.
2024. And was that for the month of August?
Yes, ma'am.
So as we sit here today, you owe for September, October, November, December of 2024, and then January and February of 2025?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, I will turn it over to your attorney now.
Good morning, Commissioner Brunson. Good morning, Ms. Harper. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so I'm just going to start out first. I'm just going to jump right in. So, are there any conditions in the property that require repairs?
Yes.
Okay, and when did you first start having issues?
I would say 2023 of when I first moved in, there was an issue.
Okay, and what were those issues, very briefly?
The floor and the floor in the area of the living room. And when you walked on the boards, it was an issue with that.
Okay, and how long were those issues present?
It's kind of hard to say. For a while, then they fixed it, and then it's came back again.
Okay, so I want to fast forward to August of 2024. Were there
Mhm.
any issues that needed repairs in August of 2024?
Yes, that's when I noticed that the floor was kind of I guess I use the word wobbly, and the deck was messed up. It was like kind of sinking in, and then
Okay.
the floor. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I was going to just very quickly, Miss Brannigan or Miss Enlow at this time, can you put up, I believe I have it labeled Exhibit C. It's the photos that Miss Harper has taken. Miss Harper, they're going to put up the photos. I'm just going to have you walk us through once they put them up.
Maris, are you able to put that photo up on your end?
Yep, I am looking for it as we speak. I mean,
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Well, while they're doing that, very quickly, did you notify the landlord of these issues?
Yes.
And when I say the landlord, do you mean who specifically?
Miss Ross, Corinne Ross.
Corinne Raza. Okay. And how did you notify her?
Email.
Okay. Do you remember around when that was that you notified her?
It had to be around August time frame. Well, actually, it's been like an ongoing thing, but August really kind of reared its ugly head in August.
Okay.
It was like, well, it was like June. I'm sorry, June. Excuse me, June. It started going down below June, and then really in August they came to see about it.
Okay. And did you also have either in-person or telephone conversations about this with Miss Raza?
No, it was Mr. Ross that I had the telephone. He called after his guys came, and actually for the first time, because it's been 3 times, that they actually went and picked up the floor.
Okay.
This particular time. So they finally, the guy that came finally decided to say, wait, there's something going on here. There's water coming through the door. There's got to be something wrong. And he actually picked up the floor, and this is what he found. And then Mr. Rise called, and he went off on me, hooped and hollered, and told me I was responsible for it. And I tried to explain to him that I have nothing to do. I don't pick up floors like this. But his guy did pick up the floor, show me what was going on, and show me the water that was coming from the outside into this house.
So just very quickly, when around when were those conversations that you were just talking about, to the best of your recollection?
In July, I think.
Okay. So what, just looking at the picture, can you see the photo that's up on the screen?
Yes,
Okay, and was this the issue that you were kind of just describing about the floor?
yes.
Okay. And is this, how long was this issue present?
Well, actually, I'm finding out that it's been present for some time. That's why it starts sinking in. But no one until that day that picked up the floor like this.
Okay. Is this currently what it looks like right now?
No,
Okay.
but
When
water's
was,
still coming. Water's still seeping through. But no, it's not currently. I'm not underneath there, but they put down more floor.
okay. So this is technically from the unit above you or your unit?
That's my unit coming from the outside on the
Oh, I
deck.
see. Okay. So then if we can just scroll down to the next photo. Thank you. So can you just tell us what's happening in this photo, Ms. Harper?
That's the first bathroom, and the ceiling is coming. That's the ceiling, and it's coming from the above me.
Okay, and when you say it's coming from above you, what's coming from above you?
Where the right. I don't want to mess up the picture here, but see
That's
where
okay.
the ceiling is falling down. See that little space right there where the light is, and look over there. And the ceiling is coming down. Right there, right there. Yes.
And when did this when was this issue present?
I noticed it about maybe about last month or something, month before, something like that.
Okay, and when you say the last month or the month before, something like that, can you give your best estimate about what month that would have been, an actual month, just to tell the commissioners or the commissioner, excuse me.
Maybe it's September. No, not September. December.
Okay. Of what year?
2024. Excuse me.
Okay, thanks. And has this issue been fixed by the landlords?
No.
Okay, so this picture is accurate for what the bathroom ceiling looks like today.
Yes, a little worse now, but yes.
Okay. Can we move on to the next page? Ms. Harper, can you tell us what's going on in these photos right here?
That's where the washer and dryer is. There's no ventilation for it to go out. So when you wash and dryer, it like even though you have the little right here, you have the electric cap there that the lint comes in, but there's nothing to go out, like a ventilation.
Okay, and is this do you remember around when this photo was taken or these photos were taken?
Probably December, November timeframe.
Okay, and when did this issue start?
Well, actually, I didn't realize it, but I realized back then that there's nothing, all the dirt, I couldn't figure out where the dust was coming from. Then I figured out that's where it's coming from.
So that essentially the entire time that you've lived there, you believe?
Yes.
Okay. And has this been addressed by the landlords?
No.
Okay, so this is accurate or for what it looks like today?
Yes.
Okay. And then moving on to the next page, if we can. Ms. Harper, can you tell us what's going on in these two photos here?
Yes. This is the first one is the living room. And that's where the water is coming from the deck above me and it's seeping into my place. Right there. That's the deck above me. So it's still seeping in.
And did you notify the landlord about this?
I tried to tell him when he came to do the walkthrough, but he cut me off. He said that's not happening.
The walkthrough happened when?
Oh, wow. It happened last month. I can't give you exact date. But I tried to, I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. Was that the first time that you told them about this or that they knew
Yes.
about this issue? Okay.
Yes.
And have they fixed this or no?
No, it's not fixed.
Okay. And then can we just move on to the next photo? This is the last one that I will go over. Can you just show us what's going on in this picture, Ms. Harper?
Right there. It's worse now, but right there, this is the same thing happening. Water is coming from somewhere above us, above me.
And when you say right there, you mean kind of the seam between the wall and the ceiling?
Yes.
Okay.
It's worse now because now it's like really breaking through now. It's all yellow now.
Okay. So that's all I need for the photos. Thank you to the staff for that. Just give me 1 second. And so I just want to quickly fast forward. So you reported these issues and how did the landlord respond overall?
Well, he just cut me off. He said, that can't be happening. I told him it was the same issue from the floor and the water seeping through, and he just cut me off and said, that's what's happening.
Okay. And did the landlord send you anything in relation to your lease or your status as a tenant?
Well, yeah, in November, he sent me a 10-day notice to move out, and that stemmed from the floor, because during that time, during the floor, that stemmed from the floor, the floors of the floor. He told me he wanted, that same day, he told me he wanted me out. He told me he had 24 hours to move out.
Ms. Castro Almeida, is it possible we could put up the 10-day notice dated November 7th? I think I have this labeled as Exhibit A.
Sure.
Just very briefly. Ms. Harper, can you see this notice?
Yes,
And is this the notice that you were just referring to?
yes.
Okay. And just to be clear, does this notice refer to anything as far as you were concerned about your status as a tenant other than the payment of rent?
No.
Okay. And then very briefly, Ms. Castro Almeida, can we put up my Exhibit B, which was the November 20th notice? And I'm getting close to wrapping up, Commissioner, so. Ms. Harper, can you see this notice that's up on the screen?
Yes,
And do you remember receiving this notice from, I guess it was the landlord's attorney?
yes.
Okay. And do you see what the date of it is?
November 20th.
And do you remember when you received this?
Actually, it wasn't that,
Roughly.
I'm sorry. Actually, it was after, I guess, that weekend, because it was actually just laying down on the steps and had my name on it.
Okay. And then very quickly, I just want to shift gears, Ms. Harper. Ms. Castro Almeida, can we go to the more recent exhibit I sent to the commission? That was the email from the landlord to my client dated January 24th. And while we're doing that, Ms. Harper, I can ask you a couple quick questions. So since all of that happened, are you aware of license and inspection coming to inspect the property?
Yes.
Okay. And what is your understanding of, I guess I'll phrase it this way. If I need to clarify, you'll tell me, but what is your understanding of those inspections and as it relates to your unit or your tenancy?
From what I understand, it has absolutely nothing to do with me, with my unit.
Okay. And what are you basing that off of?
Of the actual license inspections, gentleman said it. It had nothing to do with me. It has nothing at all.
Okay. And so you spoke to the inspector
Yes.
from license and inspection,
Yes.
and he told you essentially that there was nothing, this had nothing to do with your unit.
He says it has nothing to do with me.
Okay. So do you see the email up on the screen right now?
Yes.
Okay. And did you receive this email from Mr. Raza?
Yes.
And I mean, I'm not going to make you go through it all, but can you explain to the commissioners what this email basically said? And yeah, go ahead.
It's basically saying that if the violations are not fixed by the 28th of February, that that we'd have all tenants need to be out by the February 28th if the violations are not taken care of.
Okay, but your understanding from license and inspection was that was not accurate. Is that correct?
Right. So I actually called and they said, I don't know why y'all calling. He said, because it has nothing to do with you.
Okay. And the first paragraph refers to PWD. Do you know anything about the water situation in the building?
All I know is, it keeps saying the water's gonna be shut off, but I have no idea what they're talking about.
Okay. And so, have you attempted to call the water department yourself?
I did call, but they said they couldn't talk to me because, I wasn't the landlord. But I just know from seeing them, the water meter people out here. And I don't know what's going on, but they say it has nothing to do with me as far as the water. So I don't know what's going on.
Sure. Just to clarify, are you responsible for the payment of the water bill directly?
No, I'm not.
Okay. So you don't pay the water bill to the Philadelphia Water Department?
No, I don't.
Okay. I have no further questions, Commissioner. That is all I have for now.
Okay, I just have follow-up questions. Just want to confirm, Ms. Harper, are you still in the unit?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then I just want to clarify the dates of when these repairs were reported, or when you saw them and when you reported it to your landlord. I have in my notes, you said that you reported the ceiling leak in December of 2024. Is that accurate?
I think it was December. He did a walkthrough, and I know it's 24. It had to be maybe in January, but he did a walkthrough.
Okay.
And I was trying to show him. He asked me, was everything, fixed from the balcony, and I was trying to explain.
That's fine. I just wanted to clear. And then the vent in the dryer, when did you notify them about that? Was that also in December or that same walkthrough?
No, that wasn't the same walkthrough. I can't remember. I'll be honest with you, I can't remember what day that we even discussed that. If we even
Okay.
discussed.
So what did you inform them of in August of 2024? Because that's what I have in my notes, and I'm not certain what you informed them of in August.
Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me. Of the floor, of the balcony, and the floor. I tried to explain to him about that.
Okay. Commissioner Byas, do you have any questions?
No, Commissioner Brunson, thank you.
Okay. Landlords, you are able to, if you want, you can cross-examine Ms. Harper. If not, you can, I have a few questions for you and then you can put on your case. So, Ms. Raza or Mr. Raza?
Hi, can you hear?
Sure.
Oh, go ahead, Ro.
No, go ahead, good.
Can I just make comments to
You can
what she
comment on
said?
you can comment on anything that Ms. Harper has just said.
Okay. So my records show that July 5th was the first time she ever emailed me. And
Excuse me, what year was that? Just make sure you.
I'm
include
sorry.
the year.
Yep. I apologize. July 5th, 2024. And that was her telling me that she had just gotten out of the hospital and that her son or daughter or in-laws were taking care of the apartment while she was in the hospital. She had heart surgery and she is home now, and there's water when she steps on the floor, there's water seeping up. And I responded to her. I didn't see the email. I was on vacation. I didn't see it till 5 days later. And I sent someone that day when I saw it on July 10th. I said, I'm so sorry. I hope your procedure went well. Could you please tell me how long you were out of the apartment so we can get an idea of when the water issue started? She never told me how long she was in the hospital for. And then that day was when we sent someone over and we saw the damage on the deck and that it had spread through the whole subfloor. And that's when we were like, this should have been reported. Like, this could have been reported a long time ago and it would have been a really small issue. And even then she started.
Ms. Raza, when you all saw the damage, when did you send someone to fix it?
So we went on July 10th, 2024 to evaluate and see it. And when did we first start tearing the floor up to fix everything?
Or
that-
I guess a better question is when were repairs completed with the flooring?
Mm, mm, Rahel, if you know that exact date, if
Yeah,
you
it
can get
was
that date.
within 2 or 3 days of going there because it was an emergent issue, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's July 12th, 13th.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm sorry, on August, we're putting sliding doors in, so the floors were already done.
Okay, so before we get into all the repairs that you all address, I want to just ask about your renter's license. Do you have a license for the units?
Yes.
When did you get that license?
November 20th, 2024.
Okay, did you have one prior to that?
No.
Okay. And then Ms. Harper says that she did not receive a certificate for renter suitability. Did you submit one to her?
Yes.
When
She
did
received
when did you do that?
see that when she first got her lease and then um November 20th.
So you gave her one when she first got her lease in 2023?
Yeah.
Did you have a license in 2023?
Yes.
Okay, so can you submit that license to us so that we can see that license?
Yes.
And did you submit a lead
Sorry,
certificate?
we had a license in 2023, right? Or
Yeah, pretty sure. I mean, because
Okay.
it was signed on the lease that it was received.
No, I'm not talking about the certificate. I'm talking about your actual license. If you had one in 2023 when Miss Harper moved in, or anytime before the current license, you have to submit that to us. And then also the certificate for renter suitability that you gave to Miss Harper, we need a copy of that as well.
got
Did
it.
you send her or did you give her a lead certificate at any point?
So the property was built after 1978. It was built, there's a CO, I included a CO from 2023. So it doesn't need a lead certificate, it just needs to be put on the program or whatever.
Okay, we'll check that. Um, and can you confirm the amount of security deposit that Ms. Harper paid to you all?
Yeah, it's 1 month's rent, 1,850. The other numbers are last month's rent deposit and first month's rent deposit. So upon move-in, every
So
tenant.
so you still have the last month's rent and the security deposit? Have you returned any of that to her?
No,
Okay.
she's still living there.
And you can confirm that rent is still $1,900 now?
Yeah, we increased it from 1,850 to 1,900. Correct.
Okay. All right, you can continue with what you were talking about, Ms. Raza.
Where was I? Okay, so I just wanted to point out that July 10th was our first time over, and we immediately started planning on, figuring out the level of the damage, purchasing materials, and coming over. And even her first email on July 5th said, my rent will be a little late this month. It will have, so, I mean, there were no issues. There was no there was nothing. We had no idea that she was in the hospital. It states in the lease that if you're going to have someone else stay there, like consistently, they're supposed to notify us. And it's for this specific reason so that we can help keep an eye. Because when it's not someone's lease, they tend to not take care of it, the way someone would when it is their lease. So it wasn't months upon months. And Rahil did a walkthrough. Excuse me 1 second. Rahil, when did you do the walkthrough?
It was in January.
January 13th, I think.
That's when I noticed the two items on the ceiling, and I asked Miss Harper if they had been reported.
Yeah, and it wasn't.
It wasn't reported until that day.
that day. Yeah, the day we gave notice that we were going to do a walkthrough, and it was just because we were worried because we just spent so much money fixing everything, and then she stopped paying rent and there's no communication, and we wanted to make sure that everything was okay with the apartment. And when we did the walkthrough, it was the first time we saw that there was any new damage. And it wasn't until after he conducted the walkthrough that she just sent 3 photos. There was no when it started, when it happened, or anything prior to the day we did the walkthrough.
Okay, I just, before I let Ms. Harper's attorney do or before we get to that, I just want to confirm that the last month that you received the rent was in August of 2024. Is that accurate?
I need to,
I believe so. I believe that's correct. Yes.
okay, I can sign in and be 100% sure, but I think that's accurate.
Right. And while you're doing that, is there any new information that you would like to present to us before I allow Mr. Weintraub to do his cross? Anything that we
So-
haven't already heard from you?
Yeah, so the issue with the repairs, I mean, all of our tenants are encouraged to report repairs. We have that on our lease. It's you know, we want to fix the building. You know, it's a building that I own. That I wouldn't want it to go to disrepair. The issue is not that it was reported. The issue was that it wasn't reported, and I don't believe that Miss Harper would do that. She was in the hospital. It was the fact that she had other people living there, were using the unit, and they caused further damage to that area. That was the issue. Her son was sitting on the balcony every day, and every day he would walk over that area that was sunken in. I mean, I have pictures that I sent over with like a foot mark on it. And it would have just taken a report, just an email to Corinne, and it would have been a really simple repair, and none of this would have happened. Had she been home. She wasn't home, and her son and daughter-in-law were there, and they were using the place, and they hadn't reported it to us. So that's why we don't allow other people to stay at the unit.
Mr. Weintraub, is there any cross that you would like to do of the landlords?
Yes, just very briefly, and then I don't know if the commission would allow me to briefly recall my client afterward just to ask about this question about her family members occupying, just because we didn't get to that.
What is it? I'm sorry.
Just so the Razas have both explained that there was this question about my client's family members being in the unit and not reporting. I'm asking if I could just briefly recall my client as a witness after I do the cross-examination, just to briefly ask her about her hospital stay and that information, if that's relevant to the commission.
Briefly.
Okay, well, I will very briefly do cross-examination. So I guess I'll direct this to both. All these can be answered by either party for now. So it's your position, Mr. and Mrs. Raza, that as of August, there were no issues that needed repairs in the premises?
No, in July, when she came back from the hospital, that's when we heard that there was a water issue from the balcony, and the issue wasn't that she reported the repair. The issue was that she didn't report the repair, a month before that, or the months before that.
So I asked you about August. So my question is, Miss Raza testified briefly, if I understood her testimony, she said in July the issue was discovered or reported, and it was fixed within a matter of days. There were people coming out to resolve the issue. Miss Raza, was that your testimony previously?
She said that we started
No,
to
my
fix it.
question's directed to Miss Raza.
Ms. Raza,
Can you answer
Yes.
the question, Corinne?
Yes, I'm sorry. As far as I know, all the work, there has never been any new damage reported since the original damage was found out about in July. So I'm not sure what the date of completion was for all of that, but after that, there was no notification, no news of any further damage until we conducted the walkthrough.
So I just want to clarify. So was all of the work completed within a matter of days in July?
It was started within a matter of days. Rahil, do you know the completion date?
I don't, but it took a week, week or two at least.
So it's your position that that was all completed in July?
Sir, I don't know when it was completed. I know that we addressed it right away and, repairs were made. I mean,
So
it
so you're
takes a
not able
while to do that. You're trying to take out a floor and put down flooring with it while somebody's staying there. So
Mr. Raza, I'm asking very briefly, can you tell the commissioners today what date the repairs were completed? Yes or no?
you're asking me?
Yes, Mr. Raza, can you tell the
Oh,
commissioners
yeah.
right
I
now?
don't know I don't know what date it was completed, but I know that it was
Okay,
addressed right away.
that answers my question. So very briefly, did you send Miss Raza, or excuse me, my client, the email that I referenced earlier from January 24th, 2025?
Did I send the email?
Yes.
Yes. After I looked through the FHC documents and I found that one of the tenants received a notice from PWD stating that the water would be turned off. Um, so, I got nervous and that's what I sent. I sent that out to the tenants. I didn't want the water turned off.
So, but you didn't actually say that you didn't want the water turned off. You told the clients that you shouldn't wait around to see if that happens and you should move out. Isn't that
Right.
correct?
Yes, definitely. I mean, because that's a safety issue. I mean, why would
Okay, thank you, Mr. Raza. And then beyond that, you also said all tenants need to be out by February 28th because of a cease operation order from L&I. Did you say that? Yes or no?
Yes, yes.
So it was your understanding from license and inspection that all tenants had to be out of the building by February 28th.
Yeah, if you read that first page of that document, that's what it says.
Which document are you referring to?
The document that I attached.
Did you submit that document to us, Mr.
Yeah,
Raza?
it was in the email.
I believe
That
it's
you
the
were-
next page of the email. You can, if the staff, Ms. Castro Almeida, you can pull that up. I do think it is page 2 of that email. We can very quickly pull this up and then I'll conclude. So this is that January 24th email.
One of the tenants received a shut-off order from PWD, and I had just seen it when I was going through the FHC documents. And then if you scroll down,
So Mr. Raza, I want to keep this moving. We already talked about that. Is
Yeah.
this what the paper you were referring to from L&I?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw this.
And where is it here that says that everybody has to be out by February 28th? Can you read that section for us?
Okay. Due to the nature of the violations in the notice of violation and case number as referenced above, the department issues an intent to cease operation. Cease operation will become effective February 28th. This is your final warning prior to issuance of cease operation.
Can you I'm happy to continue reading if you agree this is what it says. So the next paragraph says if a cease operations is issued, your business property establishment will be required to close, or that portion or use of the premises specified in the order will be forced to close immediately. Do you have that underlying order that referred to whether this related to just a portion of the building or the entirety of the building?
No, so I didn't receive that. That was given to the tenant, and the tenant texted me that. And
So,
that's
so
all I
you,
have.
so you received that from a tenant. You didn't verify that with license and inspection yourself,
No, it wasn't
but
uploaded
then
on.
you went ahead and told the tenants that they all had to be out by February 28th without checking with license and inspection.
Yes,
Yes or no?
yes.
Okay. I have no further questions on cross-examination. And then just very briefly, I just want to ask Ms. Harper, how long were you in the hospital in July?
I wasn't in the hospital in July. It was May. I went to hospital May the 9th. May the 9th. And I had
Year, the year, please.
oh, excuse me, I'm sorry, May the 9th of 2024. And they I had to have complete aorta dissection where they had to cut my chest and everything. So I was in the hospital. And
How long were you?
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. How long were you in the hospital?
I think it was like 5 days or something like that.
At all other times were you home in the property?
Yes. And I had they sent nurses home with me.
Okay. I have no further questions, commissioners.
Can I say something?
Not at this time, Ms. Harper. Commissioner Baez, do you have any questions?
My only question is regarding the CRS. The testimony that I heard, it was that the tenant received it upon lease signing. Were we ever provided a copy with that?
I
This
have
is
to
to the
send,
landlord?
I have to send you that according to the commissioner.
Okay.
So I have to find it and send it to you.
Okay. And then just to confirm, the first time that the repair request regarding the ceiling occurred was in July, or was that in August?
July 5th was the first time I was notified
And how were you notified?
by email.
Okay,
July 5th,
thank you.
2020. Sorry.
Thank you. That's all.
Okay. Briefly, Mr. Weintraub, if you want to wrap up your case with anything that we haven't heard, or just a brief wrap up, and then we'll give the Razas the same opportunity.
Yes, thank you, Commissioner Brunson. I'll just very briefly say my client has been a tenant in good standing at this property for several years. She has worked amicably with the landlords to try to resolve issues. In a situation where the water leaks were getting too severe, the landlords did not address the issue. In retaliation of her complaining about these issues, they served her with 2 notices to vacate without having gotten a rental license or provided her with a certificate of rental suitability or a Partners for Good Housing handbook. Fast forward to while the matter was pending before the Fair Housing Commission, Mr. Raza took it upon himself to try to escalate the situation and force my client out of the building by misrepresenting the water department notice and the license and inspection notice without personally verifying that himself. He just attempted to misrepresent these city agency findings in an attempt to try to get my client to move out prior to her ability to protect her rights. So I have nothing further, commissioners. I just ask that you find that the Razas have committed unfair rental practices in violation of the city ordinance in relation to retaliating, complaining about repairs, not providing a CRS, or having a valid rental license at the time that the complaints were noted. And also for during the pendency of this retaliating for the filing of this very complaint by sending this follow-up email telling her to move out by the end of this month. Thank you.
And either Mrs. Raza or Mr. Raza, if you have final remarks.
Yes. The notice to quit was solely because rent had not been paid. She stopped paying rent. Repairs were notified as soon as we started July 10th. And the only reason it was done in a timely manner. I'm sure we can dig through the emails and see when it was completed, but the entire floor and subfloor, everything had to be completely redone. That can't be done in, 2 days. But everything was done and there was no communication. There's no effort into retaliation. Her sister is our longest standing tenant. We have had nothing but respect for both of them. This came out of nowhere.
Just what is does my client sister live in the premises?
Mr. Weintraub, you have to allow Ms. Raza to continue.
I just want to ask about the relevance of my client's sister. Does she live in the premises?
No, it's to the history of our relationship, to the
Okay,
fact that
Ms. Raza, we're just focused on the tenant that we have here, so
okay.
you can wrap this up, please.
Yes. Nothing was done to her in retaliation. Every email since she reported it, you can see in our communication where all I asked for are the details and work on getting it done. That's every communication has been about getting the problems fixed. It's ludicrous that we would retaliate. All we care about is keeping the building safe and keeping the tenants safe. But if we don't know about the issues and they run rampant with issues, we can't fix it. Thank you.
So, but my last comment, so, I was incorrect when, initially in July when we didn't have a rental license, but a rental license was obtained as soon as possible in November. I do admit that that's my fault. The other issue is there was nothing ever done in retaliation. If I go back in hindsight, maybe.
Oh, Mr. Raza, Ms. Raza already explained that this wasn't retaliation. If you don't have any new information,
don't have
you are
anything.
running short on time.
I know, I understand, sorry. No, I don't have anything else. Sorry.
Okay. Well, as I stated at the beginning of this hearing, because we are not with a quorum today, you will not get a final order until another commissioner has reviewed this recording. So please be on the lookout for that. Today's hearing is concluded. You are all free to go.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
You're
you,
welcome.
Commissioner.
Thank you.